Hey everybody, we're in the game room today to demonstrate the new CoinUp 1UP product. And for those of you who aren't familiar with CoinUp, it's a small device, actually there's one here, that gives you virtual free play for your arcade game. And the way it works is, let's say for example this guy doesn't have free play, well, actually which it doesn't, Heavy Barrel does not have free play. What you could do, in the older version that is, you could hold down the first player button for about a second, and then all of a sudden it would start sending coin pulses to the PCB. It would coin up the game, and then you let go of the button, it would return to normal operation, so you could just press one player if you wanted to play by yourself, or two players, and you could play with a friend. And it worked great, and it was a good seller. But what I found, just from my own personal experience, is it wasn't kid-friendly. I have a ton of games here, although it's kind of a mess. And the kids are always in here wanting to play, and it was kind of a pain to explain to them, especially when new kids are coming and going, you know, how to hold the button down and wait for it to coin up, whatever. And typically what the kids would do is they would run up and they would want to play the game, and they would push the buttons and nothing would happen, and then they would just move on to the next game, and some of these games wouldn't be played. So I had a sign, I think, at one time on one of these games that explained the process, and you know, kids don't want to read and don't read, and so it just ended up being a pain. And so I kind of took a step back and thought about, what do I really want the game to do? How can I make it more kid friendly? Because I don't want to have to be in here opening up coin doors and doing all that stuff, or you know, explaining to them the whole button process. That's you know, it takes just as long, and it kind of defeats the purpose. So so I thought about, okay, what do we want it to do when you push the button? And ideally, it's just, you want it to do what a kid would normally do when they walk into an arcade game. That is, pluck a quarter in and then be able to press the one player start. And that's pretty much what it does. If I were to press one player here, you'll hear it. It'll coin up the game, and then it'll send up a one player pulse to the game. And that's it. And then similarly for second player, we can kind of demo that real quick. Okay, so I just reset the game, and now for second player, you'll want to send two coin pulses and then press the second player button, and so that's what the CoinUp will do for you. You can see player one, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's as simple as it gets, and to me that is as close to free play as you can actually get. And so I plan on retrofitting the ones that I have in here, switching them over to the newer version, and hopefully this will be a hot seller. I mean, it seems to take away the non-intuitiveness of pressing the buttons and waiting the seconds and stuff. Not that you might still want that other version. It's kind of a nice way to have kind of hidden free play. If you have games that you want people to put the quarters in, but at your leisure you want to be able to just walk up and coin it up without having to put quarters in, that's nice. But this one's nice too. I mean, I like it because it's very intuitive for the kids to just go ahead and start playing their games. There will be an option onto here, because I know the older CoinUp had the dip switch, and so I was trying to figure out, what do I want to do with the dip switch. I think one of them will just be for simply to enable or disable the device, and then the other two will be how many credits. You know, some of these games might be 50-cent games, and so when you press first player, you want it to throw two quarters in, and then simulate the one player button, and then likewise for two player, you know, put in a buck and then hit the two player button. So that's probably what these other two dip switches will be, and that'll all be documented in the manual when I get it on the website. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. I want to do some more further testing on maybe some different games just to make sure that it's okay. But I'm feeling very confident about it, and yeah, it should work pretty nicely. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.